Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the 57th episode of Gyaniki Tech Talks. It's been a while that we have hosted the Tech Talks, so I'm glad to see that we still have who's co-founder and managing director of AutosimulateX. AutosimulateX is a very young company and working in the very interesting field of troubleshooting and diagnosing charger related issues as well as communication standards. So we will learn more from Shekhar as to what this charger simulation is all about and how they and their team entered into this segment. Glad to have you here. Shekhar, you're on mute.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for having me.
Yeah. So, Shekhar, you can start with a presentation to talk more about AutosimulateX, and then we will have some round of Q&A followed by questions from our audience as well. So, over to
Sure.
you.
Yes. Thank you, sir. I guess my screen is visible, right?
Yes.
Thank you. Uh, so let's start today's topic, that is EV simulator. This is quite a new concept because the EV charging is not at its full space. But yeah, it is very necessary to study all these things because in future we would require such a kind of simulators for continuously testing of these EV chargers. That may be CCS2, maybe CHAdeMO, maybe AC type 2. So let's start. We are doing. What is the EVSC market size currently? CCS2 cars in the market, like how many people are liking CCS2 protocols for their charging. Then what is CCS2? It's simplified architecture. What is the flow sequence for the CCS2? Basics of CCS2, like how the CCS2 is going on. Then like the potential failures. Uh, it is very important to study the potential failures because many times we have seen BSc. So that is one of the main concept. Also, our solutions for this EV simulation. Then how we are implementing digital twin technology here. Yeah. So let's start with about us. AutoSimulator. So it is not related to only EVs charging, but it is related to lot of protocols, and we'll go through the PPT as we are going. Uh, Also, like our vision and mission is work on the calibration, diagnostic, visualization aspects of various protocols, such as CAN, UDS, XCP, and CCS2. So, as we know, these protocols automotive protocols that are currently in the market. So we want to create the flashing devices. We want to have the calibration softwares. We want to have the simulation softwares for maybe EV simulators, ECU simulators. Then the animation diagrams, that is one of the new topic. analytics, and the calibration. So all these things we are covering with AutosimulateX. And for more info, you are having a visit to www.autosimulatex.com. And for the EVSE, EVSE is like the EV charging station, uh, and almost 6,586 uh, public charging stations are operational right now. The lot of charging stations are deployed. But yeah, this is just a starting, and the CAGR for this is almost 46.5% up to 2030. So it is predicted that the charging is only. Uh, and this is like authorized news by Union Minister. Uh, Also, with the efforts of private players, uh, the charging station number the EV chargers and EV simulators today. So, when we are talking about the charging stations, many people said there are different protocols, like Type 2 is there, and the CHAdeMO is there. Also, there is some GP by. So these are the list of the Indian cars that is having the CCS2 and other charging station. So if you look at out the number, you will find that CCS2 and Type 2 is more preferable. So what is CCS2? So CCS2 is combined charging system to protocol, and it is work on the AC and DC both. It's having the speeds up to for the extents it's like 350 kilowatts, so it is fast charging. And like right now in India, it is continuously increasing, and we'll see more kilowatts in the future also, as per the vehicle charging system grows, the battery and BMS. Like why people are more preferable towards this protocol, because it is mechanism. Also, the CP and PP are the wires for the communication. So, control pilot and proximity Ethernet are the two wires. So, it is like two wire protocols also. Also, CCS2 will give versatility, interpolability. Also, like it is supported. India is going towards CCS2 and its CCS2 charging. So like when we are saying that okay, CCS2 is okay, but today is we are talking about the simulator. So what is simulator and why it is only for the hardware tool that allows for the simulation of a CCS2 charging scenarios. So let's say I'm not having the Nexon EV right now and I'm developing a charging station, but I cannot file or charging station is not that much compatible. So for simulating that, for testing that, we are introducing the simulators, and these simulators having the cost effectiveness as the provides the different parameter configurations, Also, it provides the charging stations, different charging stations, uh, including power flow, communication protocols, charging rates. Then it's doing any charging system development. We should have one CCS2 simulator. So yeah, that's it for CCS2 simulator. But let's study about like how the CCS2 simulator is benefited towards the CCS2 charging. Charging scenario. One side you have seen the vehicle, one side you have seen the CCS2 charger. So at this point, let me point it out. Yeah. Shekhar sir, is there any like so this is the EVAC and this is the EV. So when we're talking about the supply station, at the upper side, you will see the PE and CP from the supply charging station. So CP stands for the vehicle inlet, and there also you will find the CP and PE. Both these wires are communicating with each other using power line communication. At the downside, you will see module circuit. So the high power will goes up as per the communication applies. So as communication approves, then only the DC power will send, DC power module will send the battery, the power supply male side also for the CCS2. So what is the flow of the CCS2? Basically, CCS2 is we are dividing it up to like 14 requests. Success level of that CCS2 flow sequence. So first is like after connecting the charger, you will find the slack. After slack, you will find the slack success. Then if slack success will be authorized, then the only with this flow, the CCS2 charging will be start up or end up. So for any CCS2 flow sequence, we are focusing on any CCS2 charging process. This flow sequence is very important. Ranges like the states, different states for the PWMs, and the CPP are actually transmitting the PWM. So there are some voltage ranges, and that voltage ranges giving us giving us indication in which state the vehicle is, and state B, the coupler engagement is detected and vehicle is not ready yet to let's say the charging process. But after it goes to the state C or state D, you will find the vehicle is ready and it is ready for the charging. In few cases, there is a requirement of so these are the voltages. that we are looking up in our simulator also. Also, we have some functions in our simulator that you can manually do this like simulations in your software. I have connected a coupler, but I just want to give a signal of no coupler engagement. So there is one button in our software that like giving us the introduction for that. Signal level attenuation characterization. So you're just measuring the attenuation between the power line communication here. And when I'm saying the power line communication attenuation, so it's just a signal strength only the other communication will be started. So there are some Slack requests that are given here. So let's say the parameter and every time you will see the EV will send a Slack request to the EVSC. The EVSC will wake up and it will send Slack communication will going on. In our simulator, we are having the configuration parameters for like you can change the different type of Slack request and their responses. You can simulate this. It is very helpful while developing the charger. The OSI and OSI having the 7 layers. So physical, data link, network, transport, session, presentation, and then application. So in this level, uh, like according to this level, we'll see the charging process, how it is. Just ensure that vehicle is going into the B state. After that, we are having the data link layer where configuration of PLC nodes and the establishment of the PLC communication is happen. Slack is also the part of the IP layer communication for the PLC. We have just implement the IPv6 Internet Protocol standard in network layer. Then there is a layer called transport layer. In transport layer, we are implementing either TCP or the UDP. Data exchange connection. The presentation layer will also like send the data of the DC supply, how much DC supply is required. And another is in the list that is like established in the charging process. So in this layer, we have seen the as you see, the Slack request is the part of data link layer, then pre-charge is the part of the last layer. So this is the simple representation of this CCS2 flow sequence. And we have customization on each level. So each layer we can We can change the cable check settings. So all these things we can do with our simulator. And so like basically, yeah, we have talked about the OSI layers, then the basic architecture of CCS2, also the CCS2 basic, and what is the CCS2 simulator. But why there are some software failures in the CCS2 charging while we are going with the CCS2. So first is for the slack. So many times we have seen the slack does not start after plugging of the connector. So not ready for the communication. So that's why Slack is not started. Or the EVS is not part of the matching process. So for the possible solution, we have seen that there should be one parameter that CM set key. So we should have to set that parameter. So you can actually change that parameter in our simulator. Also, the second problems we have seen that sounding sequences sent several times for the PLC chip because sometimes the power of the signal attenuation is also reduced. Uh, then another like we found EV interrupts after the message CM attenuation character int is sent by EVSE. So these are like the messages, and this is the quite a deeper view going into the Slack. So while developing any EV side system or EVSE side system, you must know about the Slack and their requests. So you just have to follow the above chart, the above request table that we have shown previously. Then there are some like other software failures in the initialization and current demands also. So what we found that EV interrupts after the charge parameter discover request. So that is like the EV maximum power limit uh, that is given by it is EVC max initialization is not happen, and the behavior is that the charge parameter discovery request is sent by EVSC. So according to this, we found there are number of problems like in the current demand also, while EV interrupts after exchanging the current demand messages. It is like maybe because of the excessive noise on the CP side. So many times we have seen the chargers are filling up with the EMC stability. So for that, like for that simulation, we have to improve the stability of the charger. And for improve that stability, you must know like what is going on and why it is interrupting. So the simulator giving us the result that why the charging process is stopping out. Uh, Also, there are some other messages of the current demand while we have seen. We have to change the parameters according to the current demand parameters according to the EV and EVSC limits. So there are some other processes like the EV interrupts during current demand phase, then EVSC interrupts the charging process before reaching 100%. So that is also happening. It should stop at like the below 1 ampere, but still it is doing that. So possibility is like EVSC interrupts because of the minimum charging current from the EVSC. uh, Also, the EVSC interrupts charging because charging time has expired. So the timeouts are also very important here. and it is given by the ISO 15118 or DIN standard that you should have this timeout limit. And according to that standard, only the charger or the EV side infrastructure will be made. So that's why we have categorized this timeouts limits also for this current demand. So this is one of our simulator that is handheld. So you can do the testings of the CCS2 parameter level. So the software level, all the details. You can have the configuration for the Slack. You can have the configurations for the PWM signals. You can have the configurations for locking, unlocking. So there are a lot of features that above problems can be solved. This is one of our key product, and it is having OCPP communication protocol also. So if you are talking about the payment request and all that stuff, then our EV side module also having this, that is the EV simulator. You can configure your CPU, like the CMS address and all that things here. The configuration parameter are quite useful. So it is improved the accuracy. It is ready for the testing. So let's say I have deployed almost 100 charging stations all over the India, and I just wanted to know that how many charging stations are currently working, and physically I want to check that. So this is the simulator. You can give it to the your check that results on the cloud also. The reports will be generated. Also it is used for the compliance testing. So the what are the protocols, like maybe there are DC core, DC extended, or the AC side. CCS2 does support DC and AC. So all these things you can do with this simulator. Also it's having some remotely test features also. So while in one cabin I can simulate many simulator at a time. So that is also the one of the key features of this simulator. But yeah, there are few other problems also that are not solved by that particular simulator. So like incomplete mating, then water dust intrusion, or degradation of cable contacts. So we have to we should have one CCS2 connector with the battery load and all that kind of stuff, right? Like checking of the temperature, then isolation checkup, then the CP contacts, how the CP contacts is like are, uh, and all these stuffs like the physical testings will be done by that emulator. It is quite a heavy, like let's say it's having the 30 kilowatt battery or 60 kilowatt battery. It acts as a pure EV, and you can replicate any profile, like maybe I'm having some different EV than Nexon. So I can replicate that parameters, I can replicate that charging scenarios, I can replicate that charger parameter configuration. So that is the beautifulness of that emulator. Also there are some other failures related to initialization process, like pilot signal sometimes it goes wrong, then misinterpretations while the PLC communication is happening, locking failed, then over voltage, over current, reverse current. So this or that can be solved by the improving the software levels. So maybe we can we have seen that the old EVs not compatible with the new chargers, or new old chargers not compatible with the new EVs. So the upgradations, for that upgradations we can utilize this simulator that will log and monitor all these signals, and it is like initiating the better what we can say the testing result. Also uh, when we are saying that it is not only simulating, it is not only testing, but it is also giving us a solutions like assisted diagnostic. And that is our core purpose here, that we are not only looking for the uh, testing result, but we are providing the solutions by assisted diagnostic method. So our EV simulator also going to give you the information related to the like what mitigation you should have, and like at EV side. Yeah, so the physical check again, so we have the cable check. We are finding that isolation monitoring malfunction and all that stuff. So for checking that isolation monitoring, we are having isolation monitor in our EV emulators, and it also like giving us information that why isolation is not up to there, maybe the cable fault or maybe the connector fault. In the pre-charge level also, so there are some faults like the ground error, the communication error, and when the charger company or the when the EV company is going up to the home location, they will find these errors in the report of some standard organizations, standard authority. So you can do this testing in one roof only. You can have this all request, all configurations in your factory state only, and you can change all the parameters one by one. Yeah. So So, as per the flow sequence, I have again divided the flow sequence up to like the method, initialize, cable check, pre-charge, charge, and these are the steps that you are going to follow in the CCS2 and the power line communication. And this is according to the standards of ISO or D. Yeah. So after that, you will find the over voltage, over current failures, and the supply does not ramp up because of that. So the mitigation for that, like the vehicle disconnect devices, vehicle will disconnect automatically. So if your EVSE or if EV side is not performing in that way, then some hazardous situation will happen. So for that, you should is under process right now. You're saying that we are having the display for complete data gathering. It's having the internet, Wi-Fi, Ethernet interface, so you can grab all the data of the EV emulators. You can charge, like you can have the OCPP communication. You can change the CMS and all that parameters. Also the emergency shutdown, then CCS2 connector, the battery pack, all these in the one like unit. So when we are talking about the digital twin for the charging station, uh, so what we are doing, basically we are analyzing uh, the power module response, we are analyzing the rectifier module response, we are analyzing the CCS2 controller response, and or let's say you have connected the CPP, by which you can identify where is the fault is. Like it may be in the DC meter, it may be in the CAN bus, it may be in the CCS2 controller. So where the communication is stopping up. So we are introducing this new technology in the charging system as a digital twin, where you can analyze all the communications in one circuit diagram. Yeah, that's it actually from my side, and thank you. We are available to help you at AutosimulateX.com. Uh, this is my phone number. If you have any queries related to the CCS2 charging or the CCS2 simulator related to EV side, EVSC side, you can definitely contact us at sales@autosimulatex.com. Yeah. Uh, Thank you, Shekhar sir. Over
Okay,
to you.
thanks, Shekhar. But where do you see who benefits the most from this simulator? Who is the
Okay.
user?
So there are different stakeholders actually. Maybe it is OEM that is manufacturing the EV and they're looking for the CCS to charging. There are other like the players like who are manufacturing the EVSC because EVSC always needs the simulator in the manufacturing process sites also. Also, while they're deploying the chargers, they should have this kind of simulator. If I'm having a EV and I'm going to any charging station and charging is not happening, maybe I'm having a different car. So, and that is not supported by that the EVAC. So over there also for the personal use, the charging simulator is quite affordable. They can use also. So for the personal use also, the people can use these simulators.
Okay. And what what is the structure of the simulator? Can you talk a bit more about architecture and what it is?
Having the CCS2 modem, and this is necessary because it is the standard that is applied by the ISO 1511 Act, the standing authority. Also, we are having one chip that is the Qualcomm based chip in that CCS2 modem. The CCS2 modem is connected to one CPU, and the CPU may be like the Intel based, or it for the handheld simulator it is single board computers, that is automotive grade. And if you want to add a load, then you can add the AC loads also, then DC resistive loads, the battery. So you can add this kind of loads. The hardware, you will need one PC based software. So we have two options. You can have a screen on your simulator also, but if you want more like visibility, then you can have the simulator software by which you can change all the parameters by that simulator. Also, we can have one cloud platform over which you can manage multiple simulators. So this is like one of the basic architecture for our AV simulators.
Okay. Now, when a technician, let's say a charging company having charger installed across the takes it to the charging location, to the charger's location. What is the skill set required of this technician? Do we need to send an engineer there? Do we need to just send some maintenance staff person? How would it work?
Yeah. So we have taken this continuously in mind, that this consideration that uh, we are creating a simulator for the technicians. That is the first handheld simulator. That's where we have optimized the solution up to only 5 levels. So you just have to authorize, you just have to put your ID and all that things. Then you just select the EVSC, the information of the EVSC that you are simulating, and you just have to press one button, start. So after starting the button, the the CCS2 flow sequence will directly coming up, and you will see the the same CCS2 what we can say the flow sequence that have shown in the PPT. So he realized at maybe the cable check is not there, or maybe cable isolation problem is there, and after clicking that problem he will get a solution. That's it. That this process is quite a simple here. For the digital twin and all that stuff, it would like change the DC models, or they want to change the energy parameters. So like all these stuffs are quite a simple, and it is into the consideration of the technicians and the engineers.
Yeah. One of the things, Shekhar, you mentioned is that the simulator can also provide the OCPP simulation. How would that work?
Our simulator having the internet connectivity. So OCPP is just we are sending the REST protocols, or the REST messages, or the MQTT messages to the CMS server. So we have already, as we have experience uh, previously, that we are developing the charging stations for one of our client, that we should have this OCPP settings in our simulator, because we want to replicate the simulator as a charging station, or a simulator as a EV site. So that's where we have already occupied this OCPP settings, and it is connected to the server, so you can have all the like remote graphs. Also it is very helpful while checking the OCPP signals are coming from the that charger, and the other side from the simulator. So it is just correlate the signals, and it's giving the result directly to the end user.
So, such solutions for simulator are present coming from some global companies. Are Indian charging companies and the ecosystem using such solutions today?
Yes, actually, some of the people, only some of the people are using that, and the cost is like almost 3 CR, 1.5 CR, in that range, the crores of rupees for the emulators. As we are doing it in India, then this cost is completely going to half of that, or even less of that. So, yeah, definitely the Indian EV players can look into our solution EV charging process, and like we are ready to customize the simulator according to their use also. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, we have a few audience questions. So there is a question from Pramod. Pramod, go ahead.
Shekhar, this simulator, what we are talking about, help me to, if my correlation is appropriate and what I'm thinking, is this similar to the one we check the internet speeds? Today we have internet connections. Sometimes we are at not good speed. And by your explanation, you did mention that it is also going to solve. But is my understanding right that it is going to see if there is good amount checking device, but the value add is that you are already going and diagnosing and repairing. Is that right?
So as you said, like the internet having very low what we say voltage levels. We are talking about the 120 kilowatt and 30 kilowatt and 60 kilowatt here. So it is having the power line communication acts as a internet protocol, but with that communication, only the safety levels and the potential hazards related to software will be resolved. But for the what we can say the high voltage safety and the battery and the DC modules communication, it is needing of cable check and all that stuff, where the CAN is also coming up, the digital input output also coming up, energy monitor will also coming up. So this is a quite a complex when we are talking about the simulator, because it is contributing towards many problems at a time, and it is providing a solution that is the integral solution for all of them. So yeah, Pramod, thank you for asking question.
Thank you, Shekhar Borse.
Yeah. Any other questions from the audience?
Yeah. Shekhar, then is there any limitation for the wattage of the simulator? Can we use it for any specific range, 5 kilowatt, 10 kilowatt, or can it be used
Yeah.
everywhere?
Actually, the simulator, we are talking about the emulator, yeah, because emulator having that battery packs. But yeah, we can customize the capacity here, and the 30 kilowatt, 60 kilowatt, 120 kilowatt, 240 kilowatt. We can add that capacities for the simulators. Uh, Up to the lower levels, yeah, as you seen, if the 30 kilowatt simulator, then yeah, it will definitely
So, Shekhar, while we are talking about the CCS2, what about the other protocols? And obviously, the two-wheeler market, three-wheeler market does not use the CCS2 today. So, are there any solutions you are making for these market segments?
For the two-wheelers right now, we are not working on, but for the AC type 2, we are having some solutions that are very low cost solutions that are one of the like analog solutions also for that, where that is important for the AC type 2 simulation. But let's say this into the India will definitely release the Chadema solutions, as we have already have the functionality communication stacks ready with us for the CAN communication for the Chadema.
Yeah. And Shekhar, a bit about what got you thinking about entering this segment and developing a
Uh,
tool for the charger simulation.
yeah, thank you for this question, Shikhar. Actually, the solutions that we have seen in the market that are quite costly. Also, when we are talking about some other to them, then almost 15 to after 15 to 20 days, or like the process of the development is continuously increasing and the time is increasing that we have seen. The solutions are given up are not proper, and we have seen it with the different suppliers also, like the EVSC side and EV side, both of them facing these issues. So for the EV simulator we are coming up also, we are not up to the EV simulator. We are having the UDS diagnostic solutions, UDS flashing solutions. We are having the OBD2 diagnostic solutions. We are also having the XCP measurement solution. That is very much helpful for the issue manufacturers, the other component manufacturers, motor controller manufacturers, uh, because they want and that's why we are having these solutions in mind, and our motto is clear: we want to give this solution like the best solution for the market, and it is just like needed solutions. It will not we would not create like very gigantic software for the solutions. We are just doing the solutions for their need only.
Right. So, yeah, if there are no questions, I think thank you very much, Shekhar Borse. It was very insightful and definitely a good step and yeah, initiative from your side on AutosimulateX. There are many people who would be looking forward, and with the new mobility and charging as an infrastructure, we hope and we wish that your initiatives will be successful. And from the audience perspective, any questions, please reach out to Shekhar Borse at the mentioned contacts. Maybe you want to pull that up again. Yeah, that's the contact which you can note it down. Any point of time that you have some doubts, please reach out to Shekhar Borse at AutosimulateX. And thank you very much for taking out this time over this weekend. It's very difficult, but you made up your mind, and I'm sure you got some good insights. And thank you, Shekhar, for pitching this up to our audience. And good luck to you.
Thank you, Pramod. Thank you for patience listening audience. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Bye.